start. I have a new feeling about this team. I like its spirit. I like its firepower. I think they know they're pretty good. And I think they know they can go play with the Chargers, who barely overcame Washington at Washington. Yeah. And I think you're going to see this team play a little desperate, a little scared in a good way, and you're going to see the very best of my Dallas Cowboys, because enough of them, you know, let's not talk about who's not there. Let's talk about who is there, because Zach Martin is going to be back at right guard, and he is the ultimate road grader. You know it, and I know it. He will open holes in a stack box for Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke behind Zach. Watch. Listen, learn.
You know what I love? I want to know, why did you use that phrase, wounded tiger, when you guys have been lame ducks for the last 2.5 years? Stop trying to, what you're trying to do is accentuate what you actually are. I mean, you haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 years, Skip. Okay. So now all of a sudden you feel so good.
It's a new day and a new dawn, and I got my quarterback back.
You had him last week.
I did, and he played his greatest game ever.
And you lost.
And he is the $75 million man this year, and I think that has inspired him. I think he is on a new mission to say, I can live up. It's time to break through. And by the way, I called him out earlier this week. He has lost now his last 6 road games. Okay. It's time to stop the trend. He is now 6-13 in his last 19 road games. Okay. It's time to reverse that curse. He is now 6-12 overall in his last 18 games that he started, just as a starter. 6-12 in his last 18 Cowboy starts. Yeah. It's time to start going north here. And I like his new attitude. I like his new composure. I like the peace that
his attitude looks the same to me. It looks like he's the same type of guy. But you said they're on a new mission. But they started the new mission just like they did all the old missions, with an L. And somehow you returned that because he threw for 400+ yards and they looked good, but they lost.
Did they not play the best team by far on their schedule in the opener?
No, we don't know if that's...
I do. I know that. I'm already, you know, one of us goes out on the limb on this show, and I went way to the very tip end of the limb, and I said they are going to go 20-0 with the Bucs.
With that being said, just because the Cowboys played the best team, that doesn't mean they're not allowed to beat them. Basically what you're saying is because Tampa is so good, it's no harm in losing them. Yes, it is. It is a shame that you lost this game. You can beat the Buccaneers. There's no law in the NFL that says, you know what, whomever we think the best team is, you shouldn't be allowed to beat them. Is that what you're going with that?
Okay, I'm going with that I thought it was completely unfair. My team did not deserve to be in that game because, to your point, they did not earn the right last year to be in that game. They finished 3rd in the worst division in the history of professional football. And they have missed the playoffs for 2 straight years. And now you're going to throw them to the Wolves at Tampa Bay on opening night? They didn't earn the right to be thrown to the Wolves.
Okay, but here's the same thing. You say they missed the playoffs the last 2 years, but here you are jumping out there saying they're about to be 12-5, and they're one of the better teams in the NFC.
I am, and I stand by that. And they are going to run away with the NFC East.
No, they're not.
I cannot wait to talk about Taylor Heineke. And you're spouting off over there about Taylor Heineke? Are you kidding? It was hard for you to even remember whether he was Taylor or Tyler Heineke, and then Taylor. Yeah. He became a made man last night because, wait a second, because Dexter Lawrence jumped off sides? That's all you got? Really? They lose. He loses if not for an idiotic mistake by a guy who's lined up right over the football, right?
It happens sometimes.
No, it happens.
But let's talk about, let's talk about your team.
Yes,
We're going to talk about the Washington.
Yes.
They won. Yeah. All I know is they got a victory.
Okay, my team still has Ty Smith at left tackle. He still might be the best left tackle in football. And I believe that Connor McGovern, who had a great game at right guard and plays with Zach Martin, I think they might just slide him over to center, where he played at Penn State. Let's get Tyler Biadasz on the bench for a while, let him cool out and grow up a little bit.
The man just got there.
Okay, well, he did. Well, he was the weak link, and Vita Vea was just,
You make it seem like it's a shame that he got beat by Vita Vea. Well, a lot of guys are going to get beat by Vita Vea.
Okay, and I still have my 2 tight ends. You hate one of them because he can't block. Blake Jarwin, as I've called him Shannon Jarwin, so maybe he's taken after you because you weren't the greatest blocker, right?
I know.
Okay.
I was never like that.
Okay.
That's what you should call him, Tim Tebow. That's a Tebow block.
Okay, all right, I'll give you all that, but he can still catch it in ways Tim Tebow never dreamed of catching the football. And Dalton Schultz is pretty quietly, he's kind of sneaky good, isn't he?
Yeah,
all those guys are still, they're eligible to play on Sunday. And then on defense, you know, the harder I looked at what happened last Thursday night, the more I said, Micah Parsons was the best player on my defense, including D-Law or Randy Gregory, whoever else you want to throw in there.
You're throwing him to the wolves,
hey, Micah Parsons is a difference maker. He is a game wrecker, and I think you're going to see him in all his glory because they didn't play him total snaps the other night. They would mix and match with Jalen Smith and Wolf Hunter and obviously Keanu Neal. They all played pretty to very well, but Micah was the guy who was disrupting the other night. Watch what he does. He will play every defensive snap, and don't be surprised if you don't see him with his hand in the proverbial dirt. It's not dirt, but he's going to put his hand out, and he's going to rush off the edge the way Randy Gregory was going to rush off the edge.
I know Rashawn Slater is licking his chops if he see Micah Parsons rushing off the edge. But you forgot, did you forget that the Chargers have weapons? Keenan Allen, Williams, Eckler, Jared Cook.
They're a very
good quarterback. Their quarterback is very, very good, and he's only getting better by the snap.
Well, guess what? My defense is up against it. It is handicapped. It is proverbial wounded tigers everywhere. In fact, it's so bad that they said Donovan Wilson has not been practicing with a groin, and he might not be able to go. I might even be down one of my safeties. Kazee is on the injury report. He's got something going on with him. So Malik Hooker, who they just picked up, he may be in my starting lineup for all I know, and I don't care because I like what my new coordinator, Dan Quinn, I like the way he attacked the game at GOAT, the way, remember Jerry Glanville, another ex-Atlanta coach? Remember how he used to play it? He would just say, I'm coming after you with everybody. They were blitzing a lot. Unfortunately, they were blitzing the greatest quarterback who ever played, and he picked it to pieces.
This is what Justin Herbert's going to do.
Okay, well, we'll see about that because I think we're going to be coming from everywhere. I think Jalen Smith, the one thing he still does at a high level, he is a good blitzer. He's got a little kamikaze in him, and I think you're going to see Dallas Cowboys flying everywhere because what the hell? Just let it fly and see what you can do. We're wounded tigers.
Why you got to go throw caution to the wind when you got Dak Prescott? This game should be a blowout for you guys. You guys should win this game. Yeah, you got Dak. You just touted the man. Talking about he got all this all week long for the last 2 weeks. You talk about my quarterback got the 5th best odds. My quarterback is a $75 million man. My quarterback. So why are you talking about they got to throw caution to the wind? This should be a breeze for Dak Prescott in that outfit. Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, Cedric Wilson, Ezekiel Elliott, Ty Smith, Zach Martin.
Wait a second. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. You are, and you picked the home team.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what are you talking about, breeze?
No, but you're saying the defense should go kamikaze. Why do they need to go all of that with your guys?
Because we're wounded tight. We've lost 5 starters. We're down to nothing.
You just told me you don't care about who's not there. Let's talk about who's there. That's what you just told me.
Micah Parsons, the Hall of Famer across from me, said Micah Parsons pre-draft was the best defensive player in the draft. Thank you for that. You know what? You just might be right. I was all about Patrick Surtain, and I still think he's going to make 10 straight Pro Bowls. Yeah. But Micah Parsons might just be one level up because he can just take over an entire football game. And I think you're going to start seeing the first flashes of that Sunday at SoFi Stadium.
Skip, you got Ty Smith. Ty Smith one day is going to be where, Skip? He's going to have a resident. He's going to have an apartment in Canton. Zach Martin. One day he's going to have an apartment in Canton.
They're both in my starting lineup.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you got Zeke Elliott, who's a 2-time rush champ. And you got Amari Cooper, who you said is the best route runner. And you got C.D. Lamb saying, oh, he's about to take that next step. And we got little old Ced Wilson. We put him in the slot, throwing about 5 or 6 passes. Why you got to do all that on defense if you got those guys? Just have Dak, hey, Dak, win this game in a breeze for us. If he is what you said he is.
He will win this game. It is time for Dak Prescott, the face of this franchise, to rise and shine and win a big road game, a turnaround road game, because you better be careful. If we win this like I think we will, we are off to the races
What
because
happens
the
if-
schedule allows us then to really pick up momentum.
What happens if you lose this game like I think you will? Then what?
We'll talk about it on Monday, but I don't want to talk about a hypothetical that's not going to happen.
Tell me.
Why should I talk about the negative when I'm all positive?
Hold on. Tell me, you don't
My
wanna-
glass isn't half full, it's almost full.
You just told me you didn't want to talk about a hypothetical, but you said when we win this, if we win this game, I think we're going to take off. Is that not a hypothetical?
Well, that's my prediction. So,
What's your prediction?
I got it.
What's your score?
my score is we are going to reverse the opening night score, which was 31-29 on the walk-off field goal at GOAT.
Okay.
We're going to reverse it. We're going to win 31-29 at SoFi Stadium.
So we got the same score for Dallas. We just got another team having a few more points than the other team.
Yeah.
So we're clawing. So you and I both believe this will be a close
Because
game.
the Chargers don't have Tom Brady. They have one of the great young quarterbacks, but he's not the GOAT just yet. Maybe he'll turn into the GOAT. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens because this we can handle.
He don't need to be the GOAT. He just need to be better than Dak on Sunday.
Okay, will he be?
I believe so.
Okay. If you give me the 3.5 points.
Nope, I ain't give you nothing. I give you
Why
what
not?
you scored. Nope.
Well, wait a second. I at least deserve the 3.5.
First of all, my quarterback makes a measly little $5 million a year.
Yep.
Your quarterback makes $75 million.
Okay,
so
one case, give me 3.5 points.
No.
Put your due where your mouth is. You don't have
Straight
any
up.
guts because you know.
Straight up.
No, straight up. I
Straight
got
up.
3.5.